Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.
Minister name response is also out there in the public domain. Report also is out there in the public domain. Ninya good. It be take any time. No one read. I didn't hear. No one brought to a conclusion. Yes, there's a part. I'm the end of the crowd. Not confirming. I was telling Kwame before. Later on, Kwame from the Minty City News, but while any empire distracted. No matter the man, Kwame wake him up. I be honest with you, I went back to bed.
Oh, you went back to sleep?
No, I couldn't tune in. But we issue statement, which is dated November 3rd, in reaction to Ahin's and something I told Kwame, he has himself made public, even though the words are different. President interacted with him when Kenufurata submitted on any memo to president. In there, this 13-page, was addressed to the president, copied to the finance minister. So the president asked the finance minister to respond, so that to give him a brief. The brief now can demand, which is in the form of a memo, on the president calling special prosecutor's attention to the there is this
a response.
So if you can consider.
Also on here.
No, so on here. And on also why in the public. The words that were used to communicate the decline, mean to me kawaha. But I liked it. That yes, you have somebody holding this office, an appointee of the president who was having the interaction with him, and he's saying that no way, sir.
Standing up to him.
Yes, I won't take it. But the kind of word he used is a different matter. Now, he puts it in a statement in reaction to Ahin there. He was seeking to protect the independence of the office. One level, he's right. I'm in the middle. I'm a mandate. Act to preserve my independence. I act the way I act. Of course, if he does something which is wrong, it's subject to judicial review. Don't forget. Or your investigator and prosecutor on your court. And I'm yes. I'm happy that we have this situation, which indicates to some people, because already for a long time, because president na one pedo yet. The one in president were in Kahoot. Minim someone tibia. There ain't no age man. And true to maybe we hold door ya, it be further on ye, and he seized with them with delay. That's the word. Just to be charitable. Yes, it shows that that man is not being manipulated, controlled by the president or the presidency, as alleged or perceived. That he is what he is and he's doing his work. I'm happy with that. However, Kwame, having said all this, now you do a content analysis of the report, and that's where the divide is. Okay, why your observations? In my candid opinion, also on your investigations, on your findings, on your recommendations, but on your observations, some of which are adverse. Sometimes I find it difficult to see the difference between the observations which are adverse and adverse findings, in my candid opinion. But perhaps I'm a lawyer and uneducated when it comes to some of these deep legal matters. Into my fund, let the confusion stay in my own mind. But Kwame, there are things that he has said. For instance, the rigging, the bids were rigged.
Bid rigging.
Because anytime until I'll be out of location, including finishing touches to the almighty work in progress. You'll be the first to be told when it's ready.
And I'll be the first to be extremely happy.
Yes, and you might launch it.
But of course.
Kwame, it could page 3 of elected to the president now, which is a summary of the report now. There's something about decoy, data ban decoy. He also conclude that.
Forgive me on this one. It should have rather been a decoy if data bank was using Imara But this one is the other way around.
It's the other way around.
And it's purely private between two private companies.
And the truth of the matter is that I have the procurement board's communication here, all of it. 8 companies were invited to bid. By the time of the closure of the bidding, only 2 companies had responded. Imara and I think Morgan something. It's all here. And so it is not as if only 2 were sent and 1 was picked. 8 were invited. By the closure of the process, 2 had responded, out of which Imara was chosen. It's also true that there's an indicative point there. Ibenya local partner, and then data bank backs that one. Perception, you can interpret it any way you want. Check if data bank has a credibility, integrity, track record, and whether the process was transparent relative to the Procurement Act. For me, that's why I go the problem. Kwame, pacho meba. No, me read 2-3 paragraphs. Let me sum up. Meaning they will continue this discussion beyond next week. Maybe also disclosed assessment disclosed a reasonable suspicion of bid rigging and corruption activity, including the potential for illicit financial flows and money laundering in the arrangement of how the fees payable to Data Bank of Ghana as a decoy, which was not approved under the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, as amended by the Public Procurement Authority Amendment Act 2016 at 914. Chetasi. That's one. Kwame, there's another one here.
Which is your last one?
No, two more. Okay. Summarizing, he talks of opaquely for corrupt purposes in the absence of probity, so and so and so. He talks of the analysis of risk, corruption, and anti-corruption assessment of the chairman and other board members, taking into account their respective backgrounds and associations, indicated a real likelihood of almost all of them being affected by partisan considerations in discharge of their duties, as they appear to lean towards only one political persuasion in the country, making the perception of probity, transparency, and accountability very low in the management of such an important national extractive mineral resource revenue under the control of the fund. There are many more such things driven by perception, suspicion, whether reasonable or unreasonable is not the issue, conjecture, all those things. Chetmasi. Interestingly, also on your investigation, findings.
So what is it?
Recommendations. Look, I swear to you, Kwame, I would love if the special prosecutor went one step beyond this corruption assessment and seeks to give it judicial back by going to court.
Yeah.
Because see, some of the in some now I can
to test some of his claims.
Even if I'm on your investigation, they are serious. That should not be left unpunished if they are indeed crimes against the
state.
You cannot deal with others differently. So if indeed
he's convinced,
and he's my friend, and indeed I can't sit here and say they made my influence. Never, minimum character. You can't push him left or right, and that's one good thing about him, is that this matter, he should go beyond just this mere assessment. Test his findings, or he calls them observations and conclusions,
assessment
in the court of law. Now,
and I put the brakes here. Ibu in second D says good morning, Kabila. So Kabila, your friend Ibu says good morning and Mr. Emmanuel Redu at Efian Quanta Hospital. Good morning to you as well.
I'm reading something.
Incident. One was an upon, one was a very man.
It's of interest.
My catalog. Nyame Pia. And I'm having time to read all into, but the point I'm making. Suspicions and all those perceptions. Let me quote Justice Akokosa in the course of delivering the verdict on the Kulungugu bomb blast.
Justice Aku Kosa, not Akokosa.
Yes. Venerable
Aku Kosa.
Yeah, me partner in memory. There were no family were around. Mambo Dini. It's a very dignified, venerable personality in Ghanaian history. Kwame, Bibi, also a string of suspicions, however numerous and however grave, can never be multiplied together to produce proof of guilt.
A string of
a string of suspicions, however numerous and however grave, can never be multiplied together to produce proof of guilt.
Unquote.
December 9th, 1963.
Sir Justice Aku
It is on this basis that he discharged and acquitted Akwaje, Adamafio, and Kofi Krab.
In the Kulungungu bombing.
Exactly. But they convicted the 2 UP members, Menu and Ochre. I had a lot of UP worker there. There were no UP elements involved in that. They were.
This FM 104.3. Good to meet you.